live to Stephen Del Duca, who's making an announcement right now.
Doug Ford is the wrong person to lead Ontario. And come this Thursday night, people here in Oakville, across Halton and across Ontario know, they know it already, that the only way to stop Doug Ford is to vote Liberal, and that's what they're going to do. Thank you very much. Happy to take any questions.
All right, we're going to open it up to questions on the line now. I see a few reporters. Just a reminder to please raise your hand if you have a question. We'll do a question and a follow-up, and then we can return if there are more questions. We're going to start with Jeff Gray from the Globe and Mail. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hi, Stephen. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, Jeff. Thank you.
Thanks for my question. I want to ask you just about that comment about private health care. People keep saying this. The government hasn't done what your government tried to do in 2017 when you were in power, which was remove the cap and scrap the legislation that limits private hospitals. So what do you say if people raise that and put that in your face that, look, you guys wanted to increase the role of private hospitals as well, and this government hasn't even gone that far?
Yeah, look, I would stack the Ontario Liberal plan for healthcare up against Doug Ford's plan of reckless cuts and chaos any day of the week. And frankly, that's what we're doing in this election campaign. People know that when a health minister stands at a microphone and says quite openly, quite brazenly, that in order to deal with the surgical and diagnostic backlog that is badly affecting now about 1 million Ontarians in this moment, that they will prioritize private hospitals. When you witness what's taken place with PCR testing, by the way, again, where they prioritized some of the biggest donors they've had prioritize those private interests, it is part of a larger and frankly more disturbing pattern with Doug Ford and Conservatives generally speaking. We know, everybody in Ontario knows what Conservatives do. They starve public services, they cut, they deliver chaos, and then they turn to their friends and their donors in the private sector to pretend that somehow those interests will save us. Look at what they've done with long-term care. Despite the fact that we've seen such horrible stories emerging from private for-profit long-term care, over the last number of months, so many of the announcements Doug Ford has made, again, prioritizing shareholders, dividends, profits, not seniors who need care. So there is a disturbing pattern here, and I want to be crystal clear about what Ontario Liberals will do, especially given the new challenges that Ontarians face right now. We will clear that surgical and diagnostic backlog within 2 years by making a $1 billion investment over those 2 years in our public health care system, in our public hospitals. That's how we're going to deliver what the people of this province want. And Doug Ford will take us in the wrong direction, in a different direction. That's why it is crystal clear. The only way to stop Doug Ford is to vote Liberal.
Okay, thanks. As a follow-up, if you can hear me okay, I mean, you didn't address your government's Bill 160 at all in that answer, but I'll move on to the question, which is the handgun ban. Hasn't the federal government pulled the rug out from under you? You were talking about working with them on a handgun ban. They've just announced something that isn't a handgun ban.
Yeah, let me just start off with the first part of what you said a second ago, Jeff, if you don't mind. Anybody who believes that the Ontario of 2018 is the Ontario of 2022 clearly hasn't been watching really closely about how much pain people in this province are still facing. I know, and we saw it the night of the leaders' debate, I know Doug Ford and Andrea Horwath want to spend a lot of time trying to fight the 2018 election all over again. What I know from all of the conversations that I've been having and our candidates have been having is that people in this province right now, as they think about next month, next year, next decade, they're feeling pain. They want solutions in this moment that will help make their life better and easier and more affordable. They want a healthcare system that's public and is properly funded, and that's what this new Ontario Liberal team will do. On handguns, look, I saw the announcement yesterday. I think it's a positive first step. I think there's a lot to be encouraged by in that particular announcement, but that doesn't mean that our work is done. And as Premier of this province, I will lead the conversation on a national handgun ban.
That's Stephen Del Duca, the Liberal leader, who is making announcements, and he's answering questions when it comes to this election cycle and about the handgun ban that he talked about if he's elected Premier come June 2nd and what the feds have announced yesterday.